y'all, CasualBarehn here, and I know today I wanted to make a funny video, but man, it is too hot out there for the camera to, like, it'll overheat and it just won't work out right. But anyway, I was trying this thing here, Zero Clear American, whatever. I don't know why they put American on there. I guess they want to have you feel patriotic when you drink it. Problem is, it ain't zero. It's got that aspartame in it, which I can't stand that flavor. Like, to me, zero means zero. Alright? Like, if they're gonna have flavor, it's gonna be from the fruit flavor, not some, like, generic whatever chemical that is. But anyway, thank you Walmart for a can of lies. Strawberry. Zero my ass. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. We'll see what happens. If I gotta get out there early, man. I'm talking like I'm probably gonna have to beat the sun, or be right there when the sun is barely grazing over the mountains, chocolate mountains. Anyway. So I know I started this video out as like a review of like that zero shit with the aspartame in it, but I wanted to take a moment to get a little serious for a moment and just talk about my life, man. I don't even know how to explain this, but I won't go into detail on my life before 5th grade, just because, like, my life up until I was 7 was just, I'm happy to be here. But I was extremely, dreadfully afraid of failing, right? And at the same time, I was always slacking. I didn't have an easy upbringing. There's a lot of people that they go through hell, and it makes them 100 times stronger. And I'm one of those people who, they went through hell, and it kind of fucked them up. And I slipped through the crack, you know what I mean? I got an uncle, he had a rough life, and he's extremely successful. And, you know, and I don't know, sometimes I feel ashamed when I try to talk to family, because I'm just like, look at me, man, look at where I went. And I knew I ended up a long time ago. I was all the way back in county school. What was it, like 9th grade or 10th grade, county school. And I told the counselor, I told her, when I grow up, I want to be a counselor so I can help kids not end up the same way I did. She told me, but you haven't ended up yet. Now, she was right and wrong. You see, I had already ended up. I still had a chance at school and everything, but I had already ended up. Like, I had ended up before I ever even got to middle school. I had already ended up. It's just that I was able to hold it together so well because my mom kept me in line. After 5th grade, when I went to 6th grade, I started my rebellion phase, and at that point my mom couldn't keep me in line anymore like she did. And that's when my derailment just went full steam ahead. I got held back in 6th grade. You know, kids were picking on me, like, that was nothing new. But, it wasn't just that, it was just a culmination of things, you know, I don't know if it's right for me to even talk about it, but that's why there's some things I'm just not saying, because there's more to it than just what happened at school. Like, so, you know, I get held back in 6th grade, and it's like, oh damn, this really can happen. And so I hold it together for a couple of years, right? And then in 8th grade, it it hits again. And I didn't even hold it together that well for those 2 years, you know that? Like even those 2 years I was barely holding it together. Um it helped that I made friends, you know. But so going on to 8th grade, I would go every once in a while, and I should have been held back, but I got passed ahead. And the high school I went to said, look, we're going to send you back unless your first report card is at least a 2.0. And you know me, I'm dreadfully afraid of this whole failure thing, right? So I get that 2.0. I got something. I think it was, I don't remember what GPA it was, but I made sure that I passed the grade, and I did fine, you know. It wasn't that I wasn't smart enough for the grade. My brains were never the issue. My mind was, but it's not an intelligence thing. It's a whole other deal. Like I went to therapy, and it didn't do nothing for me. And don't worry, there's an ending to this. So, you know, high school, I make the grade, but then I started doing my stupid social weird shit. I basically burnt a bridge. I got really mad at myself. I didn't want to go anymore, and I didn't, you know. And it's kind of strange because I was doing this for years. You'd think that there would have been an agency or somebody who would have seen this and be like, this kid needs help. It didn't happen though. It's weird. That's the thing. Like counselors would do things, but they wouldn't do what they're supposed to. You know what I mean? So it's like I didn't just slip through the cracks. I also got forgotten. And so we keep on going, right? And in my mind, in me, I wanna succeed. I wanna do these things, but something is just not letting me. And for years, and I mean years, I can't figure it out. I can't, you know. Sometimes I think I was lazy or whatever. But if you're lazy, you don't want to do anything. That's the thing. You don't want to do anything. I did want to do things. I just couldn't. It wasn't a physical barrier, it was a mental barrier. Imagine Detroit Become Human, right? There's that wall. Well, I'm the android that couldn't break through the wall. Not until recently. We'll get to that though. So, 9th grade goes to shit. Get held back. Pull it together again. And just as I'm pulling it together, they say, look, Mr. You're not going to make it before you turn 18. We're going to send you to county school. You're going to go to continuation. And that was a shock to me, because I was actually pulling it together. Like, even teachers and some of my people are like, really? But you're starting to actually, like, you've gotten better. Why are you... Alright, man, it was nice knowing you. Take care and good luck, right? So I go to county school. In the county school, I actually liked that county school, man. It was like not that far from home. It was like maybe a block and a half away from home. I met some awesome people there. The teachers were cool. Like everything was good, right? And I was actually like enjoying gym class for the first time in who knows how long. I was playing basketball like all the time, even though I wasn't that great at it. But I was playing, you know. It was good. And then I find out that's it. After that year, they're closing it. And I go right back into my cell, my mental prison, and just is like, fuck everything, man. Just screw the world, who gives a shit. And I gave up on everything. The only thing I did was I just buried my head in the games and just acted like the world didn't exist. Cut myself off from friends, cut myself off from family. I just isolated myself entirely. Like, it went from being here and there to being just it's there, you know. And so then a few years later, you know, we move, we get a better place, and I'm happy about the new place, you know, and that kind of helped me mentally and physically. I started to try again, but the problem is something in my mind that just wouldn't let me succeed. I just kept getting in my own way. And it was at this time, right, I was going to these like non-credit courses to help me with the GED, and I was on the verge of just saying, fuck it again, right? At that point, I met my lady, Follow Go 30, and every ounce of being in me did not want to fail these classes because I did not want to look like a failure and an idiot to her, right? But I knew that I needed help on these like English courses because that's what I was doing. That's the only class I was able to hold on to was the English class. That's the only class that didn't just say, you're out of here. You know what I mean? So I still remember the teacher's name too. She was a nice lady. She was a nice lady. Awesome teacher. I don't. If I could go back in time and just fix everything, I would not give up that class. That was an awesome class. Awesome teacher. And because of her, I became way better at English than I ever was because she gave us these simple exercises that made a huge difference. But anyway, I had other awesome English teachers too. Don't get me wrong. I'm just, you know, talking about the future right now. Well, my past, but from where we are in the story is at that city college there. And that was a Diablo campus I was going to. I don't think it's open anymore. But I met Follow Girl 30 online, and you know, and she right off the bat, you know, we hit it off right at the bat. You know, we knew we were soulmates right then and there. It was like when we met, it was as if we had already known each other for years, and we had so many similarities and everything, right? And so for her, I made sure that I didn't fail that class because I wanted something to say that I have. You know what I mean? I didn't want to look like a total loser. And I passed that class. I passed that class with like, I don't know what grade, but I know that I was one of the top students. And then from there, I just kind of like had my entire focus on her. And so, you know, things are going really great, you know, we meet, and it was meant to be. Take her back north, and at this point, you know, this is the turning point, because this is the point where, oh, I have everything right now, and I sensed it coming on, and I realized that I had her there, but I was kind of not paying as much attention anymore. And then I started thinking, well, that's weird. I wish we had two computers so we could spend more time together, right? And then I just like went back. I slipped back into the prison. She got pregnant while my mind was off in its own prison, and I acted a complete fool. And well, I'm the one that got her pregnant, but anyway, I acted a complete fool, made her think I don't care about her, all these just nonsense, man. And for years, it was kind of up and down, you know. There'd be times where I'm great, there'd be times where I'm total shit, there'd be times where I made her think that I didn't care, there were times where, you know, it got to a point where she didn't know what I think. She didn't know if I mattered to her or not. She didn't know if I thought she was a complete idiot or not. She didn't know what I thought of her because it was just so, there wasn't enough consistency anymore. And then it just got worse to worse down, you know, we came down and lived with her parents, and it progressively got worse. You know, her mom passed, it was just her dad, and then, like, you know, arguments happen regardless, right? like, you can only be around people for so long before an argument comes up, and it could be about nothing, but it's how you act with that argument around it and all that, right? And I acted wrong, man. There was an argument between us and her dad, or her and her dad, and the way I behaved was wrong. I made her feel like she was wrong, she was a fool, she was an idiot, and I acted wrong, man. And so at this point, she believes that I don't care about her, I don't want nothing to do with her. I'd rather just, hang out with her dad all the time and not have anything to do with her. And I think that she's a complete idiot and a moron and all that, right? But that wasn't the case. It wasn't the case at all. No. So a few years go by and she gets this awesome friend. And then I see her and I, how we were in the beginning and how they are with, how she is with her best friend, and it did something to me inside. It like sparked something. And whatever it did, I'm free from that mental prison, and I can feel it too. Like it's not like before when you always had that looming sense. It's gone. It's gone. Problem is, so much damage was done. So much damage. And do I expect her to, like, forgive me right away? No. I mean, imagine if it was the other way around, right? It's like, damn, man. So now I'm here, I'm free, and I'm me, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that's just like, it's a lot. That's all I can say is it's a lot. It's heavy, man. And her friend, who I consider family to me now, he's a really awesome dude, And I'm pretty sure that if it wasn't for him, I would have lost her completely. Like, I don't think, if I hadn't seen how they were, which was so surreal. It was like a reflection of Fallout Girl 30 and I, when we were starting. I mean, well, maybe not as big of a hit, but still, it's there, and that's her best friend, and here I am. I'm just like, what have I been doing? What is wrong with me? Even now I can feel like all these emotions rise. I'm holding it together for the video, y'all. But yeah, we get enough of that from Markiplier. I'm a goofball at heart, you know what I mean? I'm a kind-hearted soul. And so yeah, I'm a good person, and for all those years of being a twisted person, I wasn't always bad, but I wasn't always good. And now, these days, she doesn't know whether it's okay to trust me or not, because, who knows, maybe I'll slip back into the same shit. And I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm thinking back to my own dad, When he was under the influence of anything, he was just a nightmare. But those few times when he was actually himself, he was a great guy. But those times were so few when he was with us. It was just rare. And sometimes even, like, I seen my dad go through the same thing, only he didn't make it out, as far as I know. I've made it out before it's too late. Or maybe I haven't. I hope it's not too late. But, you know, I've got a lot of making up to do. A lot. But I still love her with all my heart, man. I still love her. She is everything to me. And she gave me a beautiful, highly intelligent daughter. Like, I have no ill feelings towards my lady at all. I just hope that over time we can rebuild the trust, and that she can eventually forgive me for all the bullshit that I put her through. That's a strong woman to go through all that with me, man. We're talking almost 10 years. And we've been together for about to be 11 years. And then the time that I was a fucking idiot was a little over 9 years. You know, it was like between 9 and 10 years. So she went through that shit for a long time, man. And I think she made it so long because for 6 of the 9 or 5 of the 9, at least at times I was also a good person, you know. But later on, in like the lower half, the later half, I progressively was less and less of a good person towards her, until I snapped out of it, and all of a sudden I'm a good person. But it's probably so weird to her. It's like she can't be used to that, right? Because so it's just so, as new as it is for me, it's also new for her. I'm just glad that I'm not trapped in my own mental prison anymore. But I do suck at time management. Like, I got some stuff to do on the computer right now. I gotta do some dishes, and I don't think I'll be able to make it to the shower right now. But I guess I'll take a shower later tonight. I took one yesterday. I'm taking care of myself now. That's another thing. Like, I'm actually taking care of myself. Look at me. I've been clean. See that, man? I look good. I haven't got my hair's being all weird. Whatever. Hair does its fucking thing. I got that, like, hair to, whatever. Gonna brush it out. Gotta get a haircut at some point. But I'm free. And, you know, it's a depression thing, I think. It's like I was in denial all those years or something. And then I think, you know, there's so many people out there in this world that they are going through the same thing, and it is literally ruining their life just like it was mine. And some of them don't make it out. You know, some of them end it all before they make it out, and it's just so sad, man. It's just like, I'm really grateful, because I was having dark thoughts towards the end there, really dark thoughts. I would have ended it all if it weren't for my lady and my daughter. You know, I would have, or maybe my daughter. Like, I don't know. You know, it's just, it got to a point where I hated myself. I hated myself. But now that I'm free, I've forgiven myself under the terms that I don't go back. I will not go back to that mental prison. I will remain free of it. And I will take care of myself. I will handle things. Right now my obstacle is a job. Like, that's the only obstacle I can actually see in my way, is a job. Because if I get a job, I can get it on place. If I get it on place, then it's easy street for me. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know what to do. Problem is that in order to do what I want to do, there has to be certain things that take place. And I, in life, got the horse before I got the buggy, and I've just been riding bareback this whole damn time. You know what I mean? Oh, I have a kid, throw her on the back, tell her to hold on to the tail. It's been a fucking circus act. But man, for those of you who are going through this shit and you haven't made it out the other end, I really hope that this video might have helped. I really hope that you can convince yourself and maybe even force yourself to get help. And I know that that sounds like a great idea that's not going to happen, but like that's the thing. Like, tell somebody, because we can't do it on our own. That's the thing. Like, tell someone who can get you to do these things, because that's what you need. You need someone who's going to just pull you. We can't do it on our own. And people are always saying, well, yes, you can. No, you can't. That's the thing. You can't do it on your own. That's impossible. I tried it for my whole life. I tried it my whole life. You can't do it alone. And I know before I said, oh, I did it alone. Bullshit. I didn't do nothing alone. You need help, alright? You need a team. Someone, somebody. Even if it's just like a hotline that you call. Just call them and say, look, I need help. But you gotta have somebody who can pull you away from your vices and get you the help you need. Because if you don't, then you will rot in them, and eventually, when you finally do break free on your own, if you ever do, your life will be, you'll have to start over completely. So get some help, alright? Get a team member. And just remember, don't feel ashamed that you can't do it on your own, because that's all of us, man, lady, whoever you are watching this right now. It's all of us. None of us can do it on our own. And if you do, it didn't happen on your own. It was just time. And if you wait that duration, you'll have to start over completely. It's just, don't put yourself through that hell. Alright? Get somebody who will yank you out of that chair or bed or wherever you are and drag you to the help that you need. You've got to have that person, alright? You gotta have them know what's going on with you so that they can make sure that you do your thing. They'll hold you accountable. They might even come pick you up in their car and take you. Like, somebody who will go out of their way to help you. Even if it could be a family member, it could be a best friend, it could be a hotline, but just get the help you need. Alright, now today, y'all make it great. Take care, and I'll see y'all next time. See ya.